no idea at all how this is going to go because I just said to Clinton Smith, how should we start today? And he said, let's talk about cats and dogs. So,
Right.
here we go. GCES, Clinton Smith, Galen Bargerstock in the studio with us. Eventually, we'll get around to talking about retirement savings and all of that stuff. But cats and dogs, pet news, huh?
It is going somewhere. So I am actually going somewhere with this. So we sadly, we had to put one of our dogs down yesterday. So we've gone in the last couple years. We had 6 dogs, right? So we first, for our second anniversary, we bought a dog named Jane. She was available. She was a Chiweenie. She was really cool, and she started the whole thing out, right? And then we bought another Chihuahua when we moved to Florida.
Dick.
Yeah. We had to lie to get him. We went over, he peed on Galen and bit him, and we're like, we don't want this dog. So we told the guy, like, listen, we'll give you $150 and we'll take him. And
this is leading somewhere.
it is. It's going somewhere. This is a long story, but we're going somewhere with it.
Okay.
So the guy wouldn't take either of our calls, right? So I had because we were both from Pittsburgh and we were living in Florida, and he recognized it was both 412 numbers. So I had my manager friend Mandy at the restaurant I worked at call this guy and was like, I'll give you $100, don't even care. He said yes to her, but no to me. Imagine the gall. Yeah. So I drove out with Mandy to pick him up. Mandy went in, grabbed the dog, brought out, and that's how we got Dick, right?
They dropped me off on the side of the road. I waited back. Yeah, it was like a palm tree farm, so I'm back like a mile down the road.
Yeah,
Literally dropped you off along the side of the road.
Yeah, so we went and we got Dick, and that started Dick and Jane. We're too young. We didn't know about the books, Dick, Jane, but there's other characters, Sally, Spot, Tim, and Puff, right? So we ended up with 6 dogs.
All right.
Right? 2 of the dogs, Spot is the father of, and Sally was the mother of Timmy, and Jane was the mother of Puff, right? So we had 2 Chiweenies, 2 Chihuahuas, and 2 Chiweenie Chihuahuas.
Okay.
You know, never, ever in a million years when we started did I think of how hard it was going to be to have to take care of them all in their senior years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on Friday, we made the decision that we were going to put her down yesterday. So we called the vet on Friday. We made the appointment. This was probably the easiest of all the pets because this is us going from having 6 dogs down to only having 2, right? That's a huge difference. We haven't had 2 dogs since 2007. We got Sally for my 27th birthday. I just turned 42. So she had a great life. It was awesome. And this was the first time that we got to spend time with them over the weekend. And yesterday we took her to Dairy Queen. We got her a burger, some fries. She had a whole combo meal for herself. Yeah. She loved the vanilla ice cream. So shout out to you guys, Dairy Queen, making her last meal great. But the where I'm going with this is the money that's involved with that. Do you know what I mean? There are so many things that people don't think of. You know, we do things in our lives that are going to cost money. A third of our lives is lived in retirement if we do it right, you know, and that's what we talk about. You know, when we come in here, we talk a lot about, you know, you ask questions about retirement that are very like in-depth sometimes. And we're very big on telling people you have to actually come in and sit down and talk to us. You're not going to learn everything you need to learn over the airwaves right now about retirement and stuff like that. So we urge people to come in. You know, there's things that are going to happen to you in life. We can help you prepare for those the best that you can. Yeah.
He did bring it around.
I did bring it around.
I guess.
He did, yeah. What he points out, though, is that every life is extremely personal, and you have to treat it that way when you're thinking about end-of-life issues, but then those years leading up to end of life. And so, as Clinton said, you know, you really sit down and get in-depth with people about goals, about resources, and about how they want to spend their retirement years. And that's really the planning process that it's all about. And also, as Clinton was saying, about who it is that's going to be there to help you at the end of your life in order to live the life that you want, a life with dignity, a life with enjoyment, and maybe even a trip or two to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to do the trip to Dairy Queen. You know, when I'm sitting down with everybody at their houses, you know, there's like 95% of the time pets coming all around me, cats trying to bat at my keyboard and things like that because it lights up. So, I mean, the whole family aspect is, you know, income and what you need for retirement. But a lot of times I see seniors, when a party passes away, what they do have is that animal that they love, that they're caring for until both of them pass, you know. So the pet aspect and the expense aspect around it, you have to be prepared not just for your family, but the family that you bring in, your pod family, you know, and how expensive that could get. Because, you know, with 6 dogs, us going to the vet, you know, we went to Smicksburg. They gave us 1 dog for free because we had 6, you know. So, you know, you have to find deals with 6. But Sally was on medication. Dick
was on medication.
Yeah.
Dick, Jane.
Yeah.
It is a lot to take care of 6 dogs. We never, ever, in the beginning, when we got to 6 dogs, never, ever thought about this whole part that happens at the end. But we are, you know, man, it is a big pet peeve of me. The people that say, hey, got a new apartment, can't take my dog. Anybody want it? Like, to me, that is the worst thing you can do.
Don't take the apartment.
I hate that. Yeah, don't take the apartment. Live on the street with your dog until you find a place that accepts dogs.
Yeah.
That's just the way I personally feel. I would never, ever do that to an animal. And for us, it's part of our family. You know, Timmy and Puff were both born from our dogs. Do you know what I mean? So they really were like our little grandchildren. So
Sally got us evicted.
yeah, Sally got us evicted from the docks because we weren't allowed to have 3 dogs
then
when we
there
lived
you
in
go.
Fox Chapel. Yeah.
That's
But we had
exactly
to
what you
have her.
just said.
Yeah, we had to have her. We walked in the pet store and she was just jumping around like nobody's business. Like, hey, take me home, take me home.
Yeah.
And, you know, we walked away, but then we had to take her home.
So Sally said, I'm going home with you guys, and you had to make that accommodation.
Yeah.
But again, you know, you're caring for your pets, whatever that obligation is. You're caring for each other as housemates and partners. And for a lot of us, we're also caring for disabled children. We're caring for parents who are getting elderly. Even as we're entering into retirement years, you have to make those plans ahead of time. And during your work life, before you retire, you can do a lot that is going to help you when you get to that stage where I'm retiring, but I still have all of these needs and these people and creatures around me who have the needs as well, and they're relying upon me to do things for them.
Yeah, I mean, over the weekend, I sat down with somebody that was taking care of their grandchildren. You know, they're retired now.
That's
but
a new dynamic.
and it's
there.
happening quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit out there. I do see it, and you know, first question: what do I do to prepare for her for, you know, getting her set off in life, and asking me questions about custodial accounts and things like that. So, you know, it's the money aspect's coming in because you already know your budget. You're retired. You know, imagine this: you're retired. You already know your budget, your income, and now all of a sudden you bring in your grandchild that you're caring for. So now you need to figure out how to disperse your money in a different manner, so you can live. And now you also want to provide a future for them. So, you know, he actually wanted to get a part-time job and go back to the workforce.
So let's talk to a young guy or young gal in their 20s. They're mid-20s. They're now established in their job, and they're moving forward with their life. Hopefully, the story that you told this morning, Clint, is going to say to that person, you know what, I can start planning now.
Yeah.
So that when it gets to that stage later in my life that they're talking about, I'm prepared a whole lot better than I would be if I just live life and didn't save. So we can start that process now.
You know, so if you close your eyes, Todd, and you would think, what does a retirement ad look like to you, right? If you picture a retirement ad, typically most retirement ads is like an older couple on a boat, glass of wine, wind whipping behind them. You know what I mean? Like they're on their own private yacht. Like that is like a retirement ad. Like live the retirement you want, right? That is a typical retirement ad. I work in marketing in retirement. It happens all the time, right?
I'll take your word for it. On
take
that
my
one.
word for it. Right?
That ain't my retirement, but I'm
So, but that's the thing. That is where the difference in what people can actually do in their retirement is. If you start preparing a lot earlier, yes, you could get to that yacht lifestyle retirement. Do you know what I mean? But there are so many things that go into what retirement looks like. The family, your health. You know, health takes a really big part of its play in everyone's retirement, because if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to take care of yourself. You're not going to be able to build the wealth. You know what I mean? And ultimately, that's going to affect your happiness, right? So that's why we talk about health, wealth, and happiness, that it all goes together. It's not just one set thing. But if you're in your 20s, it is a lot more likely that you can, if you start now, have that yacht style life type retirement, right? There are places where it's not going to be that pretty ad picture where they're on a boat. Do you know what I mean? Where it's going to be health issues. There's going to be things that they have to take care of that they don't want to. So being prepared as well as you can for all of those scenarios is why people should sit down with Galen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said that very well as you can. Galen, you're in the business of setting people up so that they can live the life of their retirement as well as they can, and as close to their dream as they can get. My friend and I, when we were young, and we were playing tennis for 12 hours a day, and we thought of the life that we'd like to lead one day. It was when we retire, we're going to go to work at a golf course and just mow grass every day. That was what our dream was for retirement. That's the way I'm going to spend my life. And whenever my retirement comes, there's going to be a lot of that sort of work.
So you do feel the same way about it?
Yeah,
That's
today.
still your goal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to be busy like that, and but that's my picture. Somebody else has a whole different picture, like Clint described.
Yep.
So
There's so many different scenarios. There's so many different families that they tell me what their hobbies are, interests, things like that. A lot of people love golf, so they're going to, maybe get a part-time job at the golf course to help subsidize their income. But, what you guys were talking about with earlier, the earlier you are and the younger you are, those goals, think of them in your head as, yes, I want that for retirement. Just try to accumulate the assets and the money to have that type of retirement, because I know our retirement goals have kind of changed, and through the years, you got to kind of roll with the punches and just move, because the goals might change, but you still need that money in order to manage the accounts to do what you want to do.
Yeah, building the resources, that's what it's all about here. Building the resources to do as close as you can get to what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
When the resources are no longer coming in, when you're not drawing a paycheck 2 times a month, whatever your structure is. You want to build a way that you can still have an income that is going to support the life that you want to lead.
Even just like mathematically speaking, right? Like, I know I like to do mental math on the air with you sometimes, and I suck at math. So just think, if you start saving and you have 20 years of savings, the percentage that you're going to be making, let's say that no matter if you have $100,000 or you have $500,000, if you're making 5% on the 5 years towards retirement, the higher amount is going to grow a lot quicker and a lot more, and you're going to have more money. So the sooner you keep preparing, the more it's going to snowball at the end of retirement too, because you're making a higher percentage.
All right. So Galen, at whatever age that person is going to be, building of the resources, building the chest, the treasure chest that you're going to do for retirement, you can help them either way. If it's somebody who is 10 years away from retirement, it's not going to look the same, but there's still things that people can do.
Yeah, correct. And you have to think about what your job is. Like, federal government could retire at 57 with 30 years of service. State police have a package state-wise. So it depends on what your job is to what your retirement might look like. Because if you're retiring early, you might need to put money and savings into a non-retirement account to try to get you through, because you might have penalties involved if you're trying to, trigger in your 401k for income. So it really just depends on what your career is, and sitting down with somebody when you're younger and getting those goals established and figuring out the retirement date and kind of what you need to invest in to get to that.
Some military can retire in the early 40s.
Military's different, FBI, all of them, they have certain age restrictions that you can only work for a certain time because it's hazardous, so they want you to not be, stressed out working into your 35 years. So
you said a couple of moments ago about somebody who is considering going back and getting part-time work. Retired, probably enjoying life, for whatever reason, because there's a sudden obligation that they have, or because they simply want to get themselves active again in some sort of work relationship type of life. They enjoy the life.
Well, it's even boredom as well. Sometimes, your retirement might not be what you thought it would be, and now you're bored. So what do you want to do? You want to go socialize. So you get that job on your terms. And, I have people that, one guy, he loves going to Walmart to push carts. He eats it up. And he was making really good money before he retired. So, it really is, when it's on your terms, working is a lot different than when you're younger trying to build those funds.
Yeah, and sometimes you just want to do something different.
Yep.
Not that I want to bring it back to the topic, but Sally also cost more than all of our other dogs put together. I actually have more financial stories about Sally too. So She was our only Petland puppy. She cost more than all of our other dogs put together and multiplied by like 4. Right? So where I'm going with this is what is important for one person. We could have got Sally for like $200 off of the Craigslist back then somewhere, but we wanted her. Do you know what I mean? It was important to us, and that's what we wanted to spend our money on.
And we financed her. We actually took a little loan out and made monthly payments. Yeah.
So the first day when we went and saw her, she was so happy. She was bouncing off the walls in that little room that we were like, it was the first time we saw another Chiweenie since we bought our first Chiweenie years ago. So we knew we had to have her. We went back to pick her up the next day because at that time we didn't have credit. I was a restaurant manager. Like we had to like figure it out to like go and get her. You know what I mean? By the next day, Petland broke her spirit. She was not as happy when we picked her up on that second day. So, but we got her, and you know, to pay those finance fees and to pay over $2,600 at the time for us, that was a lot of money. You know, that was a huge expense, but it's important to us. You know, we're not here to tell people what to spend their money on. We're telling them how to spend it and how to save it and how to make the most out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's an important distinction that in the role that you play in people's lives, they come to you wanting to finance the rest of their life when the income is lessened, certainly, and in some cases the only income is going to be Social Security, and so some people have planned well, some people have not planned at all. You can help either one.
Yeah, I mean, that is actually one of my specialties, is trying to figure out what a person has and what we could take from maybe one avenue and replace and put it somewhere else that would be a better need for you, like taking away from you paying too much money for your health insurance and taking that $100 that you're paying too much to the health insurance company and now putting that into your 401k. And over 30 years, being in that correct plan that's cheaper for you and better is going to make your investments a lot higher. So, you know, that's one of the things that every appointment we have people bring their paychecks, and I look to see, you know, are you doing everything correctly? Or do you even know what everything is? Because that's the scary part. When I sit down with somebody and I'm like, what is this $79.52 that they're taking out of your paycheck biweekly? And they're like, I don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, the I don't know that's terrifying to me, because as long as we find out what it is, if it's good, then we keep it. And if it's bad, well, we need to adjust that and make it correct so you can start having that from now on.
There are plenty of people out there who don't understand something that you once explained, I thought, very well here. And I want to give you not all that much time left, but I want to give you the opportunity to say it again. Sometimes it costs you more to continue working.
Oh, yeah, it does, because you're exerting yourself and you have so much money readily available to you, whether it be pension and Social Security. Just take pension and Social Security. I know people that have worked for 39 years that just between those two alone, they would make more money retired than they are while they're working. So it's costing you to work because it would be cheaper for you to retire.
Yeah. And that's a hard concept for people to get a hold of.
It is, because nobody, you know, what I like to think about retirement is, nobody's retired before. It is a very scary process for every single one of us, because it's kind of like a life-changing event. They don't consider it a life-changing event anymore, but you know, for you it is. And I have filled out probably 20 retirement books in the last 2 weeks that people are just, you know, getting out. And, you know, everybody has the same, I'm terrified, but I'm doing it attitude. And it's just, you get used to it.
You get used to it, but you know, you come across those people all the time. For them, that's, as he said, it's life changing. It's something that they had never considered that they would ever get to. It's out there somewhere, but I'll never get there. All of a sudden, it's here.
I never thought I'd be 42, and here I am.
Yeah.
We had full faith and confidence. We were absolutely certain that you would. All right, so a few minutes left here with Clinton Smith, Galen Barger Stock, GCES. We want people to remember those 4 letters, GCES, what GCES can do for families, for individuals as they get on toward the end of their work life and think about retirement years.
Yeah, so just give us a call. You can call Samantha Nichols at my office. Her number is 724-915-0005. She handles setting appointments for Galen. So she'll be able to explain to people everything that they need for their first initial appointment with Galen. If you're already a client and you need to sit back with Galen, she's also the one that would schedule that for you. But she can find a time that Galen's available. We are. I mean, Galen has like 7 appointments a day right now, pretty much 7 almost days a week. So, if you're thinking about retiring in the next 30 days, you definitely want to give us a call tomorrow or I'm sorry, yesterday, not tomorrow, like today.
All right.
So if you want to retire soon, we do save because, we're in 40 states. I don't know if you know this. We're in over 40 states now. So we do save time in our calendar for local people because this is our community. We want to make sure we have the space for anyone that's local if they need an appointment in a jiffy. So just give Sam a call, 724-915-0005, and she can set you up with a time to meet with Galen.
Still doing TV?
Yep.
Yeah, we are. We're going out next week to record. We're starting season 3. Whoop, whoop.
Where can people see what you've done?
So check out our website, gces.us. There is a media link on there that has all of our interviews with you on it. It'll link you also to our YouTube page, which has all of our TV show, Our 2 Cents, on there. And you can find that all online on YouTube.
GCES.us.
Yeah. So GCES, government. I like to say Galen and Clint's Everyone Services, but it originally stood for Government and Civil Employee Services. So
I like that one better.
Yeah. Galen and Clint's Everyone Service, or Exceptional Services. Yeah.
There you go. Guys, thanks so much for coming in, for visiting with us again today. And again, people, check it out. Phone number if you want to set up that appointment.
724-915-0005.
Yeah. And on your way out, there's a coffee there. If you
I
would
know.
like to have
If anyone
one.
tries to bring Todd coffee, just remember he likes tea. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. It is the voice of Indiana County. It is WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for being with us.